Wade and Wade reacts.
We have another request from Kakarot197, so let's jump right into it.
Whether it's a character in a video game, something you own, or the mobile suit you pilot, nothing feels better than to fine-tune it to your exact needs and tastes. So today we're having a look at 5 of the best machines from the Universal Century that you could be piloting as an ace pilot and completely fine-tuned to your liking. We're starting off this list with one of the most well-known customizable units, the Zaku 2. Even a short look at the huge amount of variants available will get you an idea of just how customizable this thing is. Of course, as an ace pilot, you're gonna want to get the S-Type as a base unit. Not only is this an already upgraded version of the regular C-Types and F-Types, but it also allows the pilot to bypass various automated processes and limiters to squeeze out even more performance.
And it has that bright red color too. You can't beat that.
Despite being superior to the F-Type, it still shares 80% of its parts with the thing,
yeah, they look
and
almost
another
identical.
10% could be substituted if need be. So the various customizations done to the F-Types and even the J-Types could be easily done to an S-Type too. Think, for example, the Zaku half cannon if you were an ace pilot that liked having a lot of firepower, because this was essentially just a J-Type with a new backpack and
with
shoulder
that red
armor.
color though.
So totally something you could do to your S-Type. And even if you don't want to do crazy modifying to the standard layout of your Zaku, there is still a huge amount of weapons to choose from. Do you want to go with the standard machine gun? Do you want to go with the bazooka? Do you want to go with a really intimidating bazooka? And then how are you going to store them and the ammo? You could go for a second shoulder shield, giving you more ammo storage in exchange for more weight, or you could just get rid of the shoulder shields entirely for a more lightweight unit. Also, how about your sub-weapons? A Heathhawk is a nice standard option, but how about some Sturmfausts or Cracker grenades? Or remove them entirely to make room for some extra machine gun ammo.
I would like a Heathhawk too, though, just in case somebody gets close to me.
Really offers a bit of everything for everyone, as long as you can handle it. And then from the main Xeon machine, we go on to the main Federation machine, the Gym. Or well, in this case, the Gym Sniper Custom. Even though this thing was called a sniper, it was actually an ace machine because for some reason the Federation decided that sniper was going to be synonymous with ace. So instead of being dedicated to sniping, this machine really was designed to be able to handle any situation. Compared to the normal Gym, it had an upgraded backpack and thrusters in the legs for superior speed and handling, it had upgraded head sensors protected by a visor, it had extra cooling, and also extra hard points for mounting all of the weapons that it had access to. For short range, it could use the arm-mounted beam saber, the regular beam spray gun, a double beam spray gun, or even a foldable beam handgun.
Too.
All of these could either be stored on the outside of the legs or on the side skirts, so if the pilot wanted, he or she could sortie with 4 of these mounted on his or her machine. For the heavier firepower then, it usually relied on the R4 or L3 beam sniper rifles and the standard issue hyper bazooka that could be stored on the back skirt. And because all of these units were handed out to ace pilots, many of them would have very distinctive loadouts suited to the exact tastes of the pilots. Some of the more out there units were the ones used by the Shimoda squad, who had extra thrusters on their backpack and extra missile launchers for even more firepower. If you were a Federation ace during the One-Year War,
especially with the lower grade suit like that,
and you wanted a completely customizable unit, the Gym Sniper Custom was by far your best bet. Back to Xeon then, if you wanted to pilot their top unit of the One-Year War, then the Gelgoog was going to be your pick. A high-performance unit that unfortunately couldn't show its full potential because at the time of its deployment, many Xeon veterans were either dead or decided to stick with their tried and true units.
Makes sense.
However, the ace pilots that did switch over to the Gelgoog found a unit that could be adjusted to exactly how they liked it. The baseline S-types or A-types were already plenty powerful enough, coming with a standard twin-bladed beam naginata, a beam rifle, and a shield, in addition of course to the many other Xeon weapons that were available at the time. So it wasn't uncommon to see Gelgoogs with giant bazookas, 90mm machine guns, or even the standard 120mm machine guns and knuckle shields. But what really set the Gelgoog apart from previous Xeon units and even Federation units was that they had a very easy system that allowed backpacks to be mounted. First up, there was the high mobility backpack. This turned the Gelgoog into an excellent dogfighting and high-speed hit-and-run machine, and then second up there was the cannon backpack, which turned it into a mid to long-range support unit, or even a sniper unit depending on the pilot.
I would definitely
and
operate something
alongside
like that.
these backpacks, new arm-mounted equipment to replace the jet engines was also produced. Although typically associated with the Gelgoog cannon, this new 3-tube missile launcher and buckler shield were also seen on the high mobility types. And talking about things associated with the Gelgoog cannon, normally they were also outfitted with a new dedicated head unit that was more blocky than the regular Gelgoog head, but either due to pilot choice or simply lack of availability, they were also seen with normal Gelgoog heads. So whether you like long or short-range combat, anti-ship or anti-mobile suit, or you just liked switching it up, the Gelgoog was always just an equipment change away of being perfect for both you and the combat situation. And now we finally leave the one-year war behind us with the Jim Quell and its descendants, the Hazels. If you've seen my video on the development history of the Hazel 2, you know that these things are extremely customizable, and in fact, that 15-minute video was only scratching the surface of what you can do with either a Jim Quell or a Hazel. Because with these things, you can literally do what you want. You have a giant choice of backpacks going from the normal Jim Quell to the Tri-Booster unit to the Hazel's backpacks, which can then be further modified. If you're the type who likes high-speed combat, then shield boosters are going to be your best friend. You can have either one or two on your Hazel backpack, depending on the configuration, and then another two on your arms. This will then give you enough thrust to offset the use of the full armor add-on, should you want to. And then another choice that this gives you is for the shoulder pods. These can either be equipped with handlebars to stabilize the arm-mounted shield boosters, or they can be equipped with a variety of grenades of your choosing. For the head, then, you can choose between the Jim Quell, Gundam head with improved sensor,
would this be a good alternative for a Gundam?
Further improved sensor that can then turn your Hazel into a sniper unit if you also combine it with your blade rifle that will then serve as your sniper rifle. For the legs then, you can either go with the normal Jim Quell legs or say fuck it and go with the chunky Hazel legs, which can then be further modified with the so-called advanced Hazel parts for even more speed. Also, if you go with this option, you get access to the sub-arm unit, with two arms that can hold a weapon each. Sure, it's difficult to use, but let's not forget that we're all aces here. I'm fairly certain that we can handle 4 shield boosters and 4 beam rifles to completely dominate whatever we encounter. Oh, and talking about shield boosters, did I mention that there's 2 types? You've got the regular weaponless version, and then you've also got the one with laser guns on it. Now, of course, this one does come with a bunch of lasers to shoot down incoming missiles, but as a trade-off, it does have less propellant, so choose wisely. But what if you want
I'll probably choose somewhere in the middle if I could.
Well, I'm glad you asked, because we've also got the Primrose, which will not only change your Hazel into the Hazel Ozla, but also adds up to 2 extra cannons, while still giving you access to the aforementioned 4 shield boosters and 4 beam rifles.
That's a huge upgrade.
But what if you want more firepower.
More?
Well, I'm glad you asked because we've also got the Trinity 2.
2 hours later.
And that is why the TR6 Woundwort can literally be anything you want, which is also why it's the perfect customizable ace machine for a Titan's ace pilot. And then finally we have the humble Jegan, a unit that started out as a very standard machine. It simply had a beam rifle, a single Vulcan gun, 3 grenades, a beam saber, and a shield with 4 missile launchers. But over the years, many official and unofficial variations would be made of this machine. Units like the heavy equipment type and the general Rebel version, but it wouldn't really be until the D-type and its descendants that we really see a wide variety of choices for ace pilots to make. We've got the Stark Jegan with the extra armor, a new backpack, and extra weapons, all of which seem like they should be very easy to put on the normal D-type. Then there's the ECOWAS type with extra chest armor and high-performance goggles, and then there's also a variety of custom Jegans like the one used by Conroy Haagensen, showing us that customized Jegans were definitely a thing. And they also showed us that even though the Jegan wasn't initially a super powerful unit,
and the best
they could definitely be pushed extremely far by the right pilot with the right equipment. Unfortunately though, I'm gonna have to end this video on a bit of a downer, because when we're talking about customizable Jegans, I have to mention the ones from F91. On the one hand, they are super customizable, and they were also really popular with their pilots. The most standard configuration was the J-type or the normal type, which was simply put an overhauled Jegan. Then there was the mid-range B-type, also known as the M-type, which was a unit with the same body as the J-type, but its hip-mounted beam saber and grenades were now replaced by 2 missile launchers. It got 2 beam sabers on the left arm, and it also got a slightly higher performance backpack. And then there was the A-type, also known as the R-type. Essentially, this was the commander/ace version of the F91 Jegans. Officially, it was the high mobility version, and it would typically use 1 beam saber on each hip and a grenade launcher on the left arm. But as with many things on this list, there wouldn't be anything stopping you, as an ace pilot, from making your own custom selection. So now some of you might be wondering why I said that I'm ending this video with a downer. Because so far, these Jegans are extremely customizable, and they're based on a very well-performing mobile suit. Well, the problem was, the original Jegan was deployed in UC 0089. These Jegans were still in active service in UC 123. And unfortunately, by that time, they mostly served as target practice. Even the high mobility version was severely outperformed by the Crossbone Vanguard's miniaturized mobile suits. But, you know what, let's end this on a little bit of a high note. I still vividly remember getting the HCM Pro figure that came with almost all of the parts of these Jegans. And I really did love coming up with new configurations for my little Jegan. My personal favorite was 2 grenade racks on the hips, a grenade launcher on the left arm, and the twin beam sabers on the right arm. And that has been all for this video on 5 very customizable units from the Universal Century for all of your ace pilot needs.
He brought up that suit, the Jegan getting whooped in that, what was that, the F91 movie or something like that. Wasn't it A Time of Peace? And the pilots that were in those suits fighting against those other guys haven't seen war or anything like that?
I think so, if I remember correctly. I think that's right. But I think he was disappointed that the suits were relegated to the position of target practice instead of being the prestigious suits that they were in Gundam 0089.
Yeah, but I'm saying the pilots that got whooped in them suits, they were fighting people in smaller suits, which were faster, I think. But I don't think those guys are as skilled as the pilots that used to use them. And as far as these suits go, which mobile suit would you pick?
It's hard, but I would pick, I forgot the name of it, but it looks similar to a Gundam.
Oh, you talking about that one?
Yeah, you can put the most firepower on that without sacrificing mobility and without sacrificing flight power. So to me, that's the perfect combination for a mobile suit to use in a war or a battle setting.
Yeah, I agree with that. I'm gonna go with the Zaku. I'm gonna get that. I'm gonna customize my Zaku for all the fans that know, like the what's it called, the high mobility Psycho Zaku from Thunderbolt.
Oh yeah, that was cold too.
I like that one. I'm putting thrusters, backpacks, give me some mechanical arms, and I probably have to have some automated weapon system in there that can shoot down funnels. Because with us being from Earth, we have to deal with new types. But you said we're ace pilots, so at the same time we're pretty good.
Yeah, the pilot who piloted the Stark Jegan was a good pilot too.
Yeah, he just got caught. He just made some mistakes.
Yeah, he did. And that's another suit I think I would probably operate is the Stark Jegan. Because you can make a lot of changes to it, you can customize it to your liking, and you can make it a pretty formidable suit as we've seen in Gundam Unicorn. But of course, after I customize mine, it would be much better than that.
Yeah, that's why I said I just need something that can shoot down funnels. I feel like that's why the guy in the Stark Jegan, that's why he got messed up, because he had to dodge them funnels. If he had something that could take out those funnels, I think the fight would have been easier. And plot armor too. Because the thrusters got him, and that's how they took him out.
That does it for our reaction to 5 best customizable Ace mobile suits. Don't forget to leave your thoughts in the comment section and let us know which suit you would choose and why. Matter of fact, if you feel like it, give us a whole list. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so that you'll never miss a video from Wade and Wade Reacts.
And we're out of here.
Peace.